Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for joining in on a busy Thursday evening. We have today with us Arul. Uh, Arul is a founder of Bug Technology, and Bug Technology is trying to revolutionize the hospitality industry by tokenization. And Arul will walk us through it today. Thanks, Arul. Thanks for joining us. Great to have you here. You've always been a constant supporter of LSWTs, and yeah, would love to hear you out.
Great. Thanks, Ankit. Thanks for having me here. So it is Book Technologies, book like booking, right? So it's a BUK stands for book as such. Okay, cool. Okay, let me just start off at a high level what we are exactly doing, right? We are focusing on tokenizing hotel room bookings. When I say tokenizing, it basically means that every time you make a booking on a site like booking.com or Expedia or Make My Trip, today what you get is a booking ID or a booking voucher, which represents that you have actually made a booking, right? Tomorrow, in using our platform, we are actually giving an NFT that represents that particular booking. Now, the advantage of using the NFT is that assume you typically have, say, some sort of a change in plans and you have to cancel. The usual flow is that you go and click on the cancel button, and then you wait for your refunds to come back. And in the process, you also pay a refund, your cancellation amount, right? Now, the moment it is tokenized, now you have the digital ownership of that specific room night for that specific property, which, just like a collectible NFT, you can openly resell so that someone else can buy that NFT, right? So thereby, instead of paying a cancellation fee, you have actually resold your booking, right? So that's the whole idea of what we are trying to promote with book technology as such. Right now, from a profile perspective, me and Nikhil, both of us have known each other for about 20 years or so now, and come with a rich enterprise technology background, and we work with multiple MNC brands specifically focused around enterprise adoption and enterprise technology solution adoption as such, right? And I have a deeper experience in the Web3 and blockchain space, while Nikhil has worked in the travel tech and hospitality technology for the last 5-6 years, heading a company of his own until now. So our grand vision, if you see, is to create a new tradable asset class in the form of tokenized hotel room bookings, right? So we're trying to create a new asset class for the hospitality industry. Now, hospitality industry is a $1 trillion market. It's one of the largest industries that exists and globally present. So from a specific problem statement, what we are trying to solve, targeting the crypto users that are present today, is to make their booking journeys completely seamless, so that we can avoid any kind of currency conversion related issues. Cancellations can be avoided, and also all the delay in the refundable deposits, the process of receiving them also can be avoided as such. So the solution for that we are building is to create a whole ecosystem that utilizes tokenized hotel room bookings. So this will include uh, buying of those rooms directly from the hotel, selling of those rooms by the hotel directly or by tour agents or travel agents, reselling it or also trading it, right? So when a user sells it, we're calling it as reselling. When a B2B transaction is happening, we're calling it as trading. So just like any other collectible NFT trading that happens today on the likes of NFT marketplaces, on the likes of OpenSea or other sites, ideally we should be having a tokenized platform where people will be able to trade hotel room bookings. That's the end goal as well, right? So what I'll do is I'll not go into the theory of what exactly we are doing, but at a very high level, think of it, think of what we are building, the book protocol, something similar to how UPI operates, right? You have hotels at the center of it. In case of UPI, you have banks at the center of it. You have a UPI layer, and you have multiple applications like Paytm, Google Pay, all of them building on top of the UPI layer. It is the same way we want to build a book protocol where hotels will be at the center of it, controlling all the inventory, while a book protocol will be the Web3 layer, which will tokenize all of these inventory, and other people will be able to build different kind of applications on top of it. So today, when we think about travel, the closest that as a user you typically come across is probably a booking journey, right? Wherein you make a hotel room booking and you go and stay, and that's more like it. You do not do anything else from a booking journey perspective. But the moment you have tokenized inventory, you can have verifiable stays. You can have proof of stays, which basically means that based on the NFT that you're holding in your wallet address, hotels can identify that you prefer beach properties compared to mountain properties. You prefer 5 stars compared to 3 stars, and you have actually stayed in this hotel. So the weightage that your rating or review that you provide is higher than someone who doesn't have a proof of stay, right? Or performing KYC or providing DeFi solutions for travel and tour agents, wherein they can buy this inventory upfront, collateralize this, and take a loan against it. So all of these provisions are possible only because we are tokenizing it. That is the biggest benefit. At a very high level, the process that we are also going to see in the demo today is that we're going to see hotels who are adding hotel room inventory. It goes and feeds the book protocol. Book protocol will list this particular inventory, and when a purchase is made, an NFT is basically minted, which is created for that specific room night combination of the hotel room that you have booked. Now, in case you are unable to travel, or you actually want to flip it, you want to speculate on top of it, you could actually resell that booking on our platform itself, because it has a marketplace included within that, which is what is different from Booking.com and Expedia, right? Or otherwise, whoever is owning that NFT on the night of stay can go to the hotel, walk into the check-in desk, show the proof of ownership of that particular NFT, and that NFT gets consumed for that specific date. After that, that NFT doesn't have any value technically. It can only be used for analytics and segmentation and so on, but otherwise it becomes a non-transferable token locked to the user's wallet address. And once the checkout happens, there is no need for hotels to worry about reconciliation, payments, etc. We will be able to transfer that tokens directly to the hotel, or we can provide an additional service of converting that into fiat and transferring back to the hotels. Right now, revenue model that we have is very simple. Two specific revenue flows. One is the booking fee, which means that the first time a hotel room gets booked, followed by royalty every time it is traded. The difference here of why we are encouraging hotels to come on board is that every time a token is going to be traded, every time a room is going to be traded, hotels will also get a percentage cut of the secondary market trading that actually happens, right? So this, we are expecting anywhere about 2 to 3% in terms of additional revenue that they will be able to receive. There is a few more content, but what I would do is flip over to live demo, because that is the name of the session, and try to show how this works. So as of now, what we have done is we have made it very simple. We do not have a custodial wallet right now integrated. It's a non-custodial wallet, so all the transactions happen through MetaMask, right? And the first time that someone logs in, the system will also ask them their email address, which we capture just for the sake of communication, so that we can send emails pertaining to the booking. Right, so there are two fields that we capture: name and email address, and nothing else of the user is captured. So it's completely as stripped down and anonymized as possible. We're capturing the name only because hotel needs to have the name as part of the booking when they receive it. So that is the only reason that we're doing, and we're working on mechanisms how that can be avoided as well with the hotels. So this is the this is a test version of what we are currently working on. So the mainnet will be launched within the next 1 to 2 weeks. We're trying to launch a booking portal specifically targeting the Web Summit event that is going to happen end of October. So the live version also will be available. The whole idea of how this application has been built and how we are trying to approach this whole application is to promote reselling, is to promote trading of the hotel rooms, right? So that is one of the thought process that we have when we're designing the application. So in this case, assume that the user wants to log in. He logs in, he has to sign his wallet. Now he can search for any particular property, and assume that I want to go between, say, 27th to 30th of October. I will be able to see all the properties that are available right now, right? And all the usual filters that are available are also here. Now, the difference that is there in other marketplaces and ours, let me take another date, which will probably have a sample. Okay, looks like we don't have it. So let me create it then. So I'm going to go ahead and make a booking so you can see the prices very high. I mean, the idea is also that the interface has to be very similar to how a user today actually books a hotel, and that's the whole intent of how we've created it. Now you can get all the basic information about the hotel that you want to view, that you typically view for any particular property. Now we are able to create any number of different room types that we want. So in this case, we've created two different rooms, tower and executive club. So you can see that you can actually buy this particular room directly. So there are two options available. You have a buy direct option and you have no options available from marketplace. I'll show you how that works as well. So right now I'm going to buy 2 nights and directly from the hotel, right? So this is the first sale that is going to happen. We have hard coded the tax structures for now, but in future, obviously, we're going to make sure that there are key value pairs defined so that tax is configurable based on each individual property. So I'm going to click on pay now. This particular part takes some time, largely because of the testnet that we're using. There are two approvals that typically goes through. One is the approval for the amount itself, followed by the specific transaction or the value of the transaction. So, okay, awesome. So the room did book through. So now we can see that, we had made two bookings, 27th to 29th. This is an earlier booking that I had made, which is available here, right? So 27 and 29th, there are two bookings. Now, what you will see is the difference between many other systems and ours is that typically when you make a booking, say for 3 days, you get one booking ID that represents 3 days of booking, right? Now, in our case, one of the functionalities that we have is that if, let's suppose, someone books 10 rooms, 10 nights, he can, in flight, if you remember, if you're aware, you can pick and choose which ticket you want to cancel. Or even in train tickets, when you're booking, if there are 5 passengers, you can pick and choose that 2 of them are not going to come, but rest 3 are going to come. So it's the same way we are trying to keep it here, where even if you make a booking of 10 nights, you will be able to say that 3 of these nights I want to cancel, 2 of them I want to resell, 5 of them I want to continue. So we are able to break a particular booking into multiple NFTs, and user can separately interact with each of them individually based on how they choose to do so, right? So there are 3 specific transactions a user can do. One is that they can cancel the booking itself, or they can check in into the hotel. When they click on check-in, after that it basically becomes a non-transferable booking, right? After that you cannot transfer it. It becomes locked to your particular name. Your name is actually directly sent to the hotel, and the hotel systems will register your name as the guest. So do not click on check-in until you're sure that you are going to stay. Now, if you intend to trade it, you can just list it up for sale, and you can say at what price do you want to sell, right? So let's suppose we bought it at $250 and I want to sell it at $300. Now, one of the key features that, one of the issues that hotels typically have is something called as price parity or net rate that they want to maintain, right? And this basically is the minimum price below which they do not want a particular room to be sold, because it spoils their revenue projection and margin leakage occurs and so on. So in this case, assume that as a user, I bought it for $250 and I was sitting it until the last minute, and I say, you know what, let me sell it for $20 or so, right? Automatically the system will say that you cannot sell it below a certain price. Now, this certain price has been defined by the hotel in the backend systems, that this particular room type for this particular night cannot be sold below this price. This is a way to ensure revenue is not lost for the hotel, right? Now, in this case, let's assume that the user wants to sell it for $300. He's reselling it for $300, and 306 came up largely because we have to include our fees as well. Now you'd see that all of these transactions are being signed and sent to blockchain. The intent of that is that we do not want the book protocol to be used only using our interface. Tomorrow, if the likes of Expedia or Make My Trip, or even if you believe that you want to build an OTA site accessing the inventory that we have, you can use our open APIs and you will be able to directly access this inventory. So how that plays out is, imagine in a lucky future where we have Expedia and Booking, both of them using our system, a Booking.com user can effectively be reselling his room to an Expedia user or to a MakeMyTrip.com user, right? Because the underlying inventory is the same. It is the same way how a Google Pay user is able to send money to a Paytm user via UPI. It's the same mechanism, right? Now you'll see that we've listed this particular room for sale. The purchase price was $250. We know that we have put it up for $30, right? So let's just remember this: 28th October, ITC Grand Central. Now, obviously, the basic interfaces of all the categorization of different room statuses are available here. What I'm going to do is log out of this account, come in as another user, right? So earlier was Delvin 3, now I'm coming through Delvin 4. I'm going to sign in. And you remember that we had searched the property for 2829. What is the date?
Yeah, 2829.
Okay. Was it 2829 or 2728?
2728.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it was 2728, right? So this is the difference between Booking.com or Expedia, where when you click on hotel, what you see here are mechanisms of how you directly buy from the hotel itself, right? So in case rooms are not available with the hotel, but it could be available in the marketplace, or you actually want to buy it from marketplace, right? So you could filter on marketplace and you could see how many people are actually selling this room. So now in this case, you know that the D81D, which was the earlier wallet address that we were using, is selling token ID 296, right? So 296 is the specific NFT for 2728 for Executive Club for this particular room. So I click on buy this room, or okay, let me do this. Let me go from here and come here. Okay, so now if you see the same room 2728, when I'm trying to interact, it gives me now two options. I can either buy directly or I can buy it from the marketplace, right? So assume right now it is being sold at $300. It could be that someone is actually selling at $200, right? In which case I'm getting it as a better deal, buying it from the marketplace than buying it from the hotel, right? So that's a flexibility that we are able to offer. Now I'm going to go ahead and buy this from the marketplace. I think I should add more interesting images that keep moving so that people are not bored.
Yeah. I think Arul, you have a lot of questions coming in after this.
Oh, is it? Okay. Waiting for that. Come on, come on. Let's see if that usual funda of it will not work when you want it to work happens or not. Okay, exactly. So looks like there was a delay, it did not go through, but nonetheless, what I wanted to show after this is, a journey through different transactions. How are these transactions happening on blockchain, right? So let me pick up this NFT 296. So this was the first buy that happened, right? If you see what is happening is, if you remember, the first transaction that we did was of 2 dates, right? It was 27th to 29th. So you will see 2 NFTs were created, 296 and 297, right? And these NFTs were minted from 00 address and it was sent to 81D, which is the primary booker's wallet address, right? So primary booker is the person who actually directly buys it from the hotel. So 2 NFTs were created, 4 transfer of funds happened, right? 1 transfer of funds. So each of these 2 are for each token, right? So 1 token, 2 transactions. 2 transactions are happening because one is where the money is getting locked into the contract, which will get unlocked after checkout directly to the hotel. That is 1 transfer, which is the $238 that you see, right? So this money will go back to the hotel after the checkout happens. And you have $10 here, which is the commission that we are taking. So that is completely on chain. Anyone can see what is the commission that we are making on each individual transaction. Okay, now let me look at some other past transaction. Okay, so this was a transaction that I had done just like about 15 minutes back, wherein I did the resell activity, right? Where you can see this transaction again, where I had booked 3 different rooms, and then I decided to sell one of those rooms in the open market resell, right? So this is the resell transaction. Now in resell transaction, you will see that the token is not being minted, right? It is being transferred from the 81D, which is the first user, to the second. From the primary buyer to the secondary buyer, the token handover is happening. And the secondary buyer, in this case, you can see the wallet addresses. Let me zoom in a bit. 72E3 is the last 4 digits, right? 72E3 is basically transferring 3.06 to FD07. Now FD07 is the hotel's wallet address. So every time a secondary market transaction happens, hotel also gets a commission. So this is that commission that is going from the trading royalty as such. $1.53 is going to the first user, if I'm not wrong, right? Here it is going to the first user, here it is coming to Book Protocol. Book Protocol makes 0.5%, and the first buyer, primary buyer, also gets 0.5%. This is being done so that there are more and more people who want to buy the primary booking and resell it in open market, because that ensures continuous passive income for them, right? So assume that a hotel lists their property 6 months ahead of time, and someone buys it and immediately sells it even at the same price, or even at a discounted price. For the next 6 months, as and when it keeps getting traded, the first buyer will keep getting an additional revenue stream out of it, right? So that is to promote primary booking. And the other amount that you're seeing, which is of $299, is going back to the first buyer from whom the NFT was actually bought, right? So that transfer is happening. This is how the secondary market transaction happens. This is again an example of the same. You can see that, you know, all the transactions that happen on the blockchain of all the hotel rooms, you can see all the methods that are happening. All of these are transparent and available on chain itself. Let me see what other transaction we can see. This is again a booking transaction. This is a checkout transaction. Sorry, this is a cancellation transaction. Okay, so assume a user doesn't want to use it, he is not able to sell, but he prefers to cancel it, in which case we charge a commission. 20% goes to Book Protocol, 5% goes to the hotel, rest of it goes back to the user, and that particular NFT is actually getting burnt. So you can see this 287 NFT has been burnt, and cancellation amount is given out, right? 77E, from whom the token was taken, he is being given back the money. So this is how the cancellation happens. Let me see if there is anything else. Yeah, and this is the checkout transaction that happens. So right now you will see that we have actually burnt this, but in future we do not intend to burn it. We intend to keep it in the wallet itself, so that we can use it for better analytics and better targeting. This is the transaction where after checkout, after 48 hours of checkout, the contract, which is 3C18, is automatically releasing that money to 055, which has been declared as the treasury that hotel wants to maintain. So all the money is maintained in a separate wallet address that the hotel can manage, with the finance team having control of the treasury wallet, and another wallet being used for uploading of inventory and so on. So that, I guess, is at a high level the transactions that happen on the platform. Any questions? Happy to take them. Okay, I see a lot of questions. Okay, let me pick them up one by one.
First is from Gaurav.
Okay.
Arul, won't that promote unnecessary speculation and gambling on hotel rooms? Why do we need to allow trading of rooms? Someone is working on airline tickets as well.
Correct. Okay. So speculation and gambling of hotel rooms already happens. Okay. This happens in the B2B circle. So if you go and ask any travel agent, tour agent, all of these guys already do this. They hold on rooms, they sit on rooms, and then they release it as the room gets closer and closer. Now, what that creates is a lack of open market, right? So there is no price discovery happening, because there is actual black market happening, and the hotels do not have control on their own inventory. Now, by putting it on blockchain, by making it a transparent tradable system, Hotels now have visibility of how much is getting traded, who is sitting on top of it, etc. That is one point. Second is whatever speculation already is happening in the B2B circles now will come to light, and B2C users also can speculate and trade on top of it. Will that increase the price of the rooms? In short term, probably yes. In long term, when you have better algorithms, better bots and tools that are going to run, you can have reverse auction engines, Dutch auction engines built on top of this, then you will have better price discovery, because this is true free market, right? Where demand and supply balances on its own, because it's a dynamic place as such. So over time, we believe that this will be much more transparent and exposed to demand and supply than the way that it currently is, which is opaque and under control of multiple intermediaries. Someone is working on airline tickets as well. Yes, there is someone working on Web3 on airline tickets as well. I believe on the Algorand chain, they are working on it as well. We also can work, our model is very similar to any kind of ticketing. If we wanted to, we could look at event ticketing, we could have looked at hotel rooms, train tickets, bus tickets, airline tickets, any of them which have a perishable date beyond which that particular inventory is not useful, could have been an industry that we looked at. We are starting off with hospitality because of our understanding of the hospitality industry, and there is a certain mode to cross, right? For example, event ticketing is not very complex, and it is easy for new entrant to come in. Whereas when it comes to hotels, you need a lot of understanding of enterprise tech systems and so on to build something of this sort, which based on our own background, we are planning to use as a moat. When it comes to airline tickets specifically, airlines is a very, very regulated industry because of since 2001 and so on. And because of that, there are a lot of restrictions country by country, which varies on how this information needs to be handled. It's a battle to be fought on a later date. So we're starting off with hotels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next is from Soumyajit.
Yeah,
What about customer
data? Hotel will have the data of the first time customer because a direct sale is happening, but what about subsequent sales in secondary marketplace? As a hotel owner, is it possible for you to truly know who the customer is? Okay, there are multiple answers to this. One is because we are building a protocol, right? It's a underlying thing. We do not want to capture customer information. We do not want to store customer information because of the various laws that are prevailing country to country, region to region, which is very difficult to maintain when it comes to a blockchain-based system, right? So as a protocol, we do not want to capture it. But what you saw a demo right now is the booking engine, right? Which is the layer that is built on top of it. Where we capture that name, we do not store it and we directly send it to the hotels. And hotels need it because that's how the systems today have been built, where a guest name is required to be captured as part of the room booking. Now, I did show as one of the options, apart from, there were three options once you make a purchase. One was canceling, one was check-in, and the other was resell your booking, right? When you do a check-in, automatically the system will pop up with please confirm guest name and email address, wherein you will provide the guest name and that is directly emailed to the hotel, right? Or there are also other database mechanisms where we're trying to send across via APIs to the hotel's ERP system directly. So the name will have to be captured. If a user does not click on check-in, whoever has used the platform to make the booking is assumed to be the final guest, and we will pick up that name and continue to use it. So we are looking at integrating this with other notification systems like EPNS and so on, which will automatically be used as a mechanism to reach out to customers, even if they do not provide an email address. And the second part of this is today also, if you walk into a hotel and you say that I need a room, you are going to get the room, right? Which means that until that moment, the hotel did not know your name, they did not know you are arriving. The same mechanism can exist even in a tokenized model. The hotel will know that you have bought this particular NFT. If they do not have the information, they can treat you just as a walk-in customer and update your name in the system, right? Those are the arrangements that we will have to build with the hotels, and part of the agreements and the contracts that we're building with the hotel, that the guest name is something that we will only give 24 hours or 48 hours before the actual check-in happens. As hotel owner, is it possible for me to truly know who the customer is? Yeah, I think I answered that question. Samijit, did that answer your question?
Sangeet, you can unmute or you can put yes. The answer yes.
Okay, cool. I'm guessing is. Next is Gaurav's question. I think we answered this question just now. Gaurav, question repeat. Yeah. Do you have white paper for book protocol? What does token distribution looks like? IC or anything in roadmap? No, we do not have a token right now. The idea is to increase user traction, is to increase the number of transactions that happen on the system, and post 100,000 hotel room bookings is when we are planning to actually plan for a token and create much more decentralized systems. Until then, while all the protocol is decentralized, because we have to develop on the product, we are building it. There are no tokens. There is no ICO. It is a completely equity raise that we are doing. Product roadmap is available in pitch deck. I can share it across. Detailed white paper is under preparation. We have not specifically published it because there is a lot of detail that we want to talk about, which we are trying to keep it behind closed doors based on access that investors require. That is when we're disclosing that. How many days ahead of present can I book? This is completely based on how the hotels want to release their inventory, right? So today, the same way that hotels choose to release 15% of their inventory 6 months ahead of time, they release 10% of their inventory 3 months ahead of time, and they also release inventory in tranches. The same yield management practices can be deployed even in our system. It doesn't restrict or enforce any particular mechanism that you have to release your inventory 6 months ahead of time. It's completely to the liberty of the hotels. Just the way that they release on their own website or booking.com, they can choose to release how many ever rooms that they want at any point in time. But yeah, then the follow-on question from that happens is when you allow them to release as many rooms as they want, how do you ensure there is not more inventory floating than what exists? There are two answers to that. The pragmatic, practical, present-day solution is that even when you book on Booking, you do not actually know how many hotel rooms has the hotel actually sold, right? Are they overbooking or not? Overbooking is a practice that is done in flights. It is also done in hotels, in large chain hotels. So it is up to them to enforce a certain level of discipline to not open up more rooms than available, right? Now, a far-fetched answer, which is what our goal is to create every single room as an NFT, which means that if they have 100 rooms, they have to create 100 NFTs, and all the 100 NFTs have to be released on our platform. That is the only time when we can ensure that there is no overbooking possible, right? Because what would happen, how we expect the industry to actually flow is that if a hotel has 100 rooms, they would sell 30 rooms to corporate clients, right? So a hotel like Taj Hotels would sell 15 rooms to Vistara, 20 rooms to IBM or Infosys, right? And 20 rooms for some event. So that is how they actually split up their inventory. It's the same way we would expect that, they would give tokenized inventory, probably 5 rooms or 6 rooms. And when they see that revenue per available room, which is a KPI that hotels monitor, increases, that is when they would be motivated to increase that 5 rooms to 10 rooms and 15 rooms and 20 rooms and so on, right? So that will happen over time. And at that time, when we have 100% coverage of inventory, is the only time when we can ensure there is no overbooking or more inventory floating than in the system.
Pradeep, for the next questions, I'll request you if you can unmute and ask. Let's have our interaction over here.
Too much talking from me, I guess.
Yeah, Hi, Pradeep.
Hey, Arul. Hey, Saket. Fantastic.
Hey, Pradeep.
Presentation. It's also great to know that, hey, you have been there and done that in the industry. And now we are trying to get them on to the on-chain world. Like what is already happening in the off-chain world, it is being tried to come on the on-chain world. I'm just looking at the secondary spin-offs because of this.
Yeah.
given everything is going to be on chain and visible for almost everyone else.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much composable all of these things will be.
Yeah.
I'm assuming somebody could build an auction site off of top of all of these things. That could be one thing. The other question that I had was, if people have loyalty points and bonus and all of that, I'm assuming there will be some sort of token gating to say I am a Taj Vivanta loyalty card member or something like that. I give that token, lend it over to you using that you book, and then I get that token back to me, and then all of these interesting scenario. I'm just looking at possibilities. I love the
Yeah.
base concept. I'm looking at composability, taking it to another level.
Correct. So that's exactly our thought as well in terms of how we want that system to evolve as well, right? We want those additional mechanisms to be built. So if you see overall, the ecosystem is made up of three components. One is the app, one is the book protocol, which is the underlying protocol. Think of this as the operating system of things, right? Then you have book products. Book products are basically like system applications or core applications, like say Microsoft Office, right? And then you have an app marketplace, which are additional applications that we want other people to build on top of us, right? Because it is going to be completely composable. So the kind of applications that we intend to build are like, the basic trading engine. We want to build payment processor integration so that hotels can get fiat conversion directly to the bank. We want to create contracting marketplaces, right? So how today the transactions that happen between hotel and an OTA player like Booking.com or Expedia is that typically there is a contract that is signed between them, wherein there are specific conditions around what is the price at which below which you should not sell, what will be the payment terms, who can sell to whom, multiple other, it's like some 40-60 page document that is there. We intend to code all of it in form of an NFT and create a marketplace where on one side you have OTAs and the other side you have hotels, and a matchmaking happening there that, if you agree to all of these contracting terms, we will offer you the same NFTs at a 30% discount. So when a B2B player comes and tries to buy that inventory, he will get 30% discount based on his whitelisted wallet address. Whereas when a regular user tries to directly buy that inventory, it could be at a full price, right? So that's like the contracting marketplace. Similarly, like you mentioned, bidding and auction engine is something that we want to build. We want to build a complete analytics dashboard that will give you a lot of insights in terms of, how many trades are happening and so on. Exactly like you said, integration with other blockchain loyalty applications is also what we want to build, right? So all of these, if you see, our core focus is going to be here, right? Which is making the underlying ARI system, as it is called in the hospitality industry, availability, reservation, and inventory, right? We want to make sure that the ARI system is super solid and is usable. All the applications that are going to be built on top is going to be to ensure that usability of the ARI system increases, utility of the ARI system increases, right? So and that is why we're going to create SDKs and open APIs so that anyone can build. So tomorrow, if let's suppose you come in as a developer and you say that, I love this bidding auction engine. I think you guys are complete stupids that you planned for it in 2026. It should come in 2024. You're most welcome. Pick it up. We'll probably give you a grant, start building it and launch it in 2024. Most welcome. Right, so it's going to be completely open. Any other marketplace also can come and create. So for example, we are expecting hotels to create a fundraising platform on top of this, wherein they pre-sell NFTs of their rooms to all the people who are going to invest in the hotel, and those NFTs can be directly converted to hotel stays, obviously at a discounted rate, right? So hotels can raise funds on this kind of a platform. Obviously, this is not core to what we are building, but this can very suitably sit on top of it. Right, so someone can build a KYC checking, or one of the very, very critical pieces in the hotel industries is reviews and ratings that everyone uses. Right, today competitors can go and bash their competition. You would not even know if the rating is real or not. Right, so how do you incentivize a true stayer, proof of stay? So if this NFT is there in your wallet address, we know that you have actually stayed. That wallet will get a verified stay service, which means that your review will get higher weightage, right? So anyone can come and start building on top of it. So this is how we expect the ecosystem to actually grow. I hope that answers your question, Pradeep.
Oh man, it answers, and it throws up immense possibilities. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I think this is just lovely, just lovely.
Sure. Thank you.
Superb.
Soumya has one more question. How will you convince hospitality industry to adopt Web3? Awesome question. So what you see here, right? What you see on the right side is how hotel distribution happens today, right? Think of it. I don't know if you guys have interacted with banking systems 20 years back, or even interacted with the current US or Europe banking system today, right? Wherein you're trying to send money from one bank to the other, how complex it is. That is how complex the hospitality industry distribution also is, right? And this is how it operates. And there are immense amount of problems that hotels actually face. Now, these are all the benefits that we are able to offer to the hotel in terms of very clear ownership, visibility in terms of where your inventory is, at what price is it selling. So your provenance is taken care of. There is something called as dynamic and attribute based pricing. If you know, this is something that the aviation industry has already picked up. Right today, when you book an airline, you know that aisle seat can be priced separately. Front seats are priced separately. If you have a lean on, you have additional pricing. If you need a meal, it's at additional. These are all attributes, right? And the hotel industry wants to move to that kind of a setup where if they give you above 15th floor, they want to charge you some additional money. If they give you a swimming pool view, park view, non-smoking room near the elevator, gluten-free breakfast, all of these things are attributes, right? The moment we create this in as NFTs, we can add additional value to each of these NFTs. And assume that you buy a room on booking.com. Now you want to add a meal to that because you find meal is cheaper on some site, right? Or you Taj Hotels is selling their meal at 400 rupees on an offer. You buy that 400 rupees NFT and combine that with your stay NFT. Now this becomes an NFT where you have stay and meal combined. So all of those things can be done the moment you tokenize, which otherwise not possible, right? And this is a new revenue stream. We are expecting 2 to 3% additional revenue per room that the hotel is going to enjoy because of all the trading that is going to happen, right? And last point is enforceable pricing contracts. Today, when an OTA is signing a contract with a hotel or a travel agent signing a contract with a hotel, the usual duration is 45 to 90 days that it takes for all the finance approval and so on and so forth. Tomorrow, because all of these are smart contract enabled, you can verify that these are the conditions. They are enforceable rather than saying, last year I signed an agreement with you, you faltered on these 4 conditions during Diwali, during New Year, whatever it is, right? Instead of doing that, you create an NFT based distribution where the system will not allow you to sell below a certain price. It will ensure that you meet your targets, without which you will not get a discounted price, and multiple other things that can be enforced, right? So these are all the benefits that we can provide to the hotel today. But to answer your question in a different way, the value proposition that we're taking to the hotels today is that we are going to get a completely new customer segment to you, which you have not been able to tap into, which is crypto users and digital nomads who are used to this kind of mechanisms. They understand reselling, they know NFTs, and they know how to trade. And that's the sales pitch that we're going across to the hotels. Okay, I'll move to the next question now. Are there any enterprise clients you've already spoken to? Awesome. Okay. I'm very happy my slide is coming in handy. So we've already signed up a partnership with Expedia. So once the integration is done, all the inventory that you see on Expedia will be available on our platform as well. Though the tradability might not be something that will be enabled initially because we are contractually obligated that we cannot resell or trade this particular thing, or rather I should say there are no guidelines around it, right? So it is gray area. So we will be integrating with Expedia and we will be selling their inventory, but the tradability will only be enabled for properties where we have directly contracted, which is the next line that you see, StayCal Hospitality. This is one of the hotel operating companies which operates multiple hotels of all of these brands, who is already on board, and their inventory will be available on our system. This hotel, they specifically operate in the Bay Area, right? And the other one that we're doing is integration with channel managers and CRS solutions. Think of them as ERPs, right? Like SAP or Oracle. So these are the systems that hotels usually use for managing their inventory. We are integrating with them so that we have wider access to a lot of hotels who will be coming in and we'll be able to access their inventory. So that's the adoption from an enterprise perspective, Soumya. I think Soumya has one more question. Are you going for end users first? Yes, because somewhere we have to start a marketplace model. We're targeting crypto users, crypto events. On the other side, from a supply side, like you can see, we are partnering with hotels, and there are also other mechanisms where we are using the gaps in the hotel industry to access inventory ourselves. So we are tapping into things that we're trying to avoid and actually increase the adoption. So it's a marketplace model. Demand and supply both have to be taken. So the Odisha one is an interesting one because Booking Genie has partnerships with many of these government hotel chains whose inventory will be available on our platform, which should be live in about whenever we go on mainnet as.
Great. So I think that's pretty much it, Arul. We have covered a lot of questions, a very vibrant session. Thanks everyone. Thanks again for joining us on a busy Thursday evening on live show of Web3 Tools. We'll be back again next week with one more product. But before that, one more thanks to Arul. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful session here, Arul.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for your questions.
Hey, thanks, folks. Amazing session.
Always.